I really wanted to look like Rachel Weisz's character Evie in The Mummy, and I would curl my hair like she did, and I would do this like gold eyeshadow and these like Egyptian kind of eye makeup, and I tried really hard to look like her, and I actually wrote like a guide, like a how-to guide, how to be an adventure heroine, so that if I could follow all these steps, then maybe I would be pretty enough and I would get the man that I wanted. And so that kind of continued for a while. I've always looked at fictional characters, fictional women, and thought, wow, if I look like they did, then I could have this guy that they have in whatever show, and, you know, maybe I would be the one with, you know, Harrison Ford if I only looked like Carrie Fisher. So I always thought about that and comparing myself, and especially like when I was in high school, it was hard because I didn't look anything like a fictional character, and I realized that a lot of people would say, oh, of course not, but for me that was my whole kind of experience, so it made me feel like I wasn't good enough and that I would never have love because I wasn't as pretty as these women in fiction. It's interesting because actually I feel as though in general I'm more similar to how I was when I was like middle school, early high school, that it was a really true version of myself. And when I was in 8th grade, I started experimenting with clothing more and kind of being a little bit more out there and wearing things that were retro, because I've always identified with vintage fashion and vintage style, and I used to do that all the time, or I would dress to theme, and I loved it and I really enjoyed it. But then when I got into high school and I got really involved in journalism, I felt like it wasn't appropriate for me to be flashy or different, because you're supposed to be this reporter who's not biased, and you're supposed to be kind of generic and like a mouthpiece for the people, or whatever little journalism cliche that you want. It's not really, it's conservative. So I stopped dressing for me and I started focusing on being professional, and I felt like that equaled boring all the time. And when you're trying to like blend in, and I guess I was afraid of being myself a little bit too. When I finally got out of journalism after my graduate experience in Illinois and I came to DC, I kind of rediscovered that part of myself that I always really liked but didn't feel comfortable doing before. So now I dress how I want. Yeah, I would say don't be afraid to be excited about things, and don't be afraid to like flail around if you like something, and don't deny that, because that's part of who you are.